Hi, this shoe with a review of the LeBron 19 Low. It's it's better than I expected. The design itself is pretty impressive. At the same time, it feels like a huge departure from LeBron 19 itself, except for this bubbly Air Max on the heel. It looks nothing like the LeBron 19, and it's very different from the 19 in one very clear category. It's lighter. For a size 9, it weighs about 430 grams. For a LeBron 19, the normal versions, it used to weigh like more than 500 grams. So half a kilogram is not exactly a great shoe out there. First thing that got touched me was the fact that this is what sets Nike apart from other competing brands. The padding, the Achilles padding here, the gel type padding here, we've seen them in the Harden 5 and 6, and I complained about how they have the cat tongue concept where it's scratchy on one direction. So once you have socks or other fabric rubbing or stuck against it, you will see there's a lot of friction and tear. It'll really start to tear up your socks the more you wear it. But this one, so if you have the scratchy fabric on top of the gel pad, you will hear a sound like this. But here it's just the plain smooth fabric, so you don't hear that sound. Yeah, it's pretty smooth and silent. So this is good. Hopefully, idiots at Adidas listens to this and don't do the stupid cat tongue on this particular part of the shoe. The heel cup is there, getting the job done nicely there. There's no heel slippage for me. The fit itself, it's pretty roomy on the top. On top of the toe box area, always a big complaint for me when there's this huge room here. But usually LeBrons have a little bit of a give up there, and if you like that fit, you'll like this. But if you like a firm fitting shoe around the toe area, this is not the shoe for you. And it's not crazy narrow, so you can go true to size. If you're really narrow fit and you want to have a really tight fit, then you might want to go down half a size. If you have a huge wide fit, maybe half up, but ordinarily I say true to size gets the job done. Yeah, the React on the forefoot is better than the LeBron 18 lows. The 18 lows felt like the kind of encased solid lunar lawn that you felt in the first Kobe AD. That's what I talked about when we reviewed the 18s. So this is a lot thicker and plusher than that. I would compare this to the React I felt in the forefoot of the Air Max 270 React, which I actually wore to play a lot of basketball games in because I love that setting. But unlike the Max we find in the React 270, this Max, it's a lot lower to the ground than that one. So with a thick, denser React in the forefoot, there's a bit of a heel sinkage. Instead of a heel to toe drop, it feels kind of parallel, or because your weight is always going to be on the heel, it feels like your heels are sinking a little bit with your forefoot raised a little bit, so that's going to be a problem. But one thing that I am counting on is that the React foam and the Strobel board, which is pretty thick, will gradually bottom out. And when that happens, they will have a difference in terms of the height, because the Air Max will always be there unless you puncture it with the same kind of thickness. The Air Max, again, is the one they used in the 18. I had a complaint about that because it felt good. The good thing about it is it's not clunky. It's got a smooth transitional compression all around, but that's also the problem because it compresses Look at how easily it compresses, like a child's toy, like a rubber duck. So the good thing is you feel the Air Max working all the time, whether you're just standing around with it or moving around with it. But that should not be the way. There should be a bit of a difference in terms of how the Air Max reacts when you're landing on it and you're walking around in it, or hitting on some corners, taking some steps, and forcing your weight down on certain parts. So overall, it's pretty mushy. So it can feel a little bit wonky, like the Vapor Maxes, the earlier Vapor Maxes. You remember, every part sinks no matter how you step on. It was like every part crushes, squishes. So not exactly. It kind of defeats the purpose of having an Air Max unit there. So not my favorite. They do have a nice little setting where they have an air pod that has the air circulating all around. This is an improvement from the Air Max Cube or the Air Max 2 that we've seen in the mid-90s. Instead of having pillars, it's got a little central Air Max that has the air circulating around in it. So yeah, if you like the Vapor Max type of Air Max in the heel, this is for you. But for me, I need some level of heel to toe drop, and a little bit of resilience at the same time, responsiveness, sort of like the Max 270s. That's the kind of Air Max I prefer. It's a hard pass for me there. The outrigger is there very, very clearly, so this is a very pleasant surprise. I love this outrigger. The outsole pattern, the little crown pattern all around, it's like a nodule. I thought they were very similar to the Kobe 10s on the initial try, so the traction was great, but the problem is this, because of the pattern and sometimes depending on the material, rubber compound that's used, depending on it's hard to tell. Sometimes it works on a translucent outsole better, sometimes it works better on solid rubber outsole, but you got to try yourself to find out what works and what doesn't. The crown pattern, the crown nodules, they work great. They work just like the Kobe 10 nodules when you're moving, forward and backward. But on a side-to-side movement, there's a bit of a slippage and give compared to the forward and backward movement. So you can clearly feel the difference in terms of the grip. It's not bad. It's better than most, but because when you compare it to the stellar forward-backward traction, compared to that, the side-to-side traction is lacking a bit. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. This is the Fruity Pebble version. I guess LeBron was a big fan of the Flintstones. Even the swoosh has that Flintstone type of a motif there. The insole is just a plain EVA type of midsole, pretty thin. But again, apart from the insole, it's got a pretty thick strobel board as well. It's a nice cushion shoe, a good thick React, much thicker and more denser than the one we've experienced in any of the LeBron Low series in the past. But still, yeah, the price is really high, of course, and knowing LeBron series, the prices drop like I don't know what's the right comparison. I don't know, like meteorites dropping or colonies being dropped on Earth by Zion forces. I don't know. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what other kind of colorways they come up with. I love the design. It's a nice shoe to walk around in. But for performance, the lack of offset, the lack of heel to toe drop is very concerning for me. And yeah, wish LeBron would wear this to show that this works. But interestingly, LeBron has not been wearing the LeBron 18s almost never. He's been wearing the Ambassador 13s for some reason, a shoe from almost 2 seasons ago. And if you try the shoe, it's not that great. So. But then LeBron also made a dramatic comeback in the finals wearing the Soldier 10, which was rock hard.